Walker. And man battling, decision to be made, and the referee points to the penalty spot. It was right by the line. It will get looked at. And they are taking many a look at this. It has been some delay now, but now we will get the announcement from Sam Barry.
After review, Burnley number 2 does not commit a foul on Man United number 7. My final decision is no penalty and drop ball to the goalkeeper.
There's box to clip it in off the crossbar, and then Dubravka did it cross the line. Sam Barry looks at his watch. Goal for Manchester United.
And I tell you what, Josh Cullen that does get that finishing touch on. Dubravka does really well to just react, but it's not good enough to keep it out of his goal. So unfortunate.
Brian Mbumo is in all kinds of spaces. Xerxes has the chance to feed him. Brian Mbumo touches it across. Ahmad! Should have been 2. Should have been 2.
I mean, this is a wet surface, let's not forget, and it's come at him at pace, but you have to be hitting the target.
Larson with all kinds of room. Foster's there! 1-1. Burnley bite back. In a game in which they've been on the back foot for so long. Wasn't an easy finish for Lyle Foster. Brilliant from Brun Larson to find him inside the penalty area as Dallow now goes on the charge. And Mbumo! A childhood dream comes true for Brian Mbumo. Instant response by Manchester United. Burnley get the first contact and it breaks at the back post. Bayindir makes the save, but they're level again. Jadon Anthony, sharpest on the scene. And yet again, Burnley show their powers of recovery. Bruno Fernandes again, Ahmad goes down. Bruno Fernandes asking the question. Ahmad needs to step away from the referee, of course. It will be looked at.
I'll tell you what, there's a pull on the shirt here for definite.
After review, Burnley 11 has a sustained pulling action on Man United 16, which results in a penalty kick. My final decision is yellow card and penalty.
Bruno Fernandes steps up! There's your captain! Surely a match winner for Manchester United!
Oh, what a finish!
Coca-Cola, proud partner of the Premier League. Drink it in.
Senna, welcome to Manchester United. It's a pleasure to have you here on Deadline Day. How does it feel to you? Yeah, it's a big
Tomorrow
day.
starts tonight.
The club,
Kia, the wonderful
first of all, like
everyday.
this move is my dream move, and also today is the last day, so everything comes together like this. So it's a massive day for me, and I'm very happy that we could get it done today. I've been seeing you doing your photo shoots in the new kit. It must feel very good, but your family around as well. It's a proud day for all of you. Yeah, I'm very happy they can also be here today because it's, yeah, like I said, a massive day for me, but also for them because they saw me grow up, play football my entire life. So it's also nice to have them with me now today in yeah, the biggest moment in my life almost. So it's also nice that they're here. Yeah. There's so much to do on a day like this, lots of things to do, but maybe later when you're having dinner, a chance to reflect on that journey you've been on with your family. Yeah, that's true. Then probably with a glass of champagne, it's a little bit more easier to reflect on the past and the things I've had to go through to get here. Also the low moments we've had together and the high moments, I think all came together to be here today. So yeah, let's hope it gets done quickly, and then tonight we can celebrate it.
Well, we're very pleased to have you. What attracted you to Manchester United? Why Manchester United?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. Like I just said, it's one of the biggest clubs in the world. Premier League is the biggest competition in the world. And also the history of the club, I think. I remember being a kid of Manchester United winning Champions League, winning the league, and also wanting to help the team get to a level that you can compete for a title again and to play Champions League again. That's also one of my biggest points, that I want to grow with the team and grow to the heights that used to be of Manchester United.
Did you speak to any teammates or former teammates about coming to this club, what the club was like?
Yeah, I've in my team in Antwerp, there were some players who were also in England, and when I talked to them about Manchester United, you could directly see their face change. The club alone, the aura of the club, it's massive, and I think being here today, also seeing it, it's a different level. It's crazy. So that also was a big part of why I chose Manchester United. Yeah.
Is that something that reaches even the kids of Belgium, the uniqueness, the magicness?
Like I said, especially me growing up when I was like 5, was like at the height of for me football with Cristiano Ronaldo, with all the other players in their prime. So I think that stays in your memory. You keep remembering how big Manchester United is, and so when I heard they were interested, it was like a childhood dream.
I want to win the biggest trophies, and I feel like Barcelona, the club, is obviously a huge club in the football world. So it's the perfect place to go and win the biggest trophies. And you see with the team last season, they have a very young team, ambitious team, and I want to come here and add my qualities, my personality, and try to improve the team and help them win. It's a unique club, so everything about the club is special, and of course to wear this shirt is an honour, and I am ready to do my best for the club. And like I said, it for me is about winning, and all my life growing up, and I've of course watched many Barcelona games, and the club is about winning. Of course, it's about enjoyment, to express yourself, and the players that have worn this shirt, they have all expressed themselves in their own way for the club. But ultimately, the club is built on winning, and I'm here to try and add to this history. I don't have anything bad to say about Manchester United. I think it's been an important part of not only my career but just my life. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to play for them. But football is the same as life, and not everything goes as simple as as you may have thought. And yeah, this is my next step, my next chapter. And you know, right now I'm in a good place. I'm happy. I'm healthy. And like I said, I am eager to get going. You know, it's one thing to say you are, you know, motivated and determined, but these are things that, you know, they can change day to day, depending on how you're feeling. But really, the thing that I bring back to my life, not just the sport, is the discipline. And you know, the discipline is something that stays regardless of if you wake up, you don't feel like it today. The discipline is the thing that keeps you going. So, you know, like I said, my overall message is that I'm happy to be here. The manager Hansi has done a great job with the team, especially, you know, last season. To do what he did with such a young team is impressive. And for me, the most impressive thing was from the moment I arrived, everything last season is forgotten about, and they are fully focused on the next season to improve from last season. So the ambition is very high, the determination is very high, and it's a perfect fit for where I am in my career right now. And yeah, everybody is hungry, everybody is excited. Of course, we have options, but in the end, I have to make a decision, and my mind never changed. So you know, it's difficult to not be disrespectful to anybody, because I don't mean any disrespect, but I have to make a decision, and my choice is my choice. So I would have waited longer if I had to wait longer, and yeah, regardless of what happens in the next season, I am not going to regret my decision. So you know, I am looking forward to this season, and just put everything to try to win.
In terms of some of your players, we were told yesterday that there's a deal agreed for Garnacho to go to Chelsea. We think that Rasmus is going to go to Napoli, but we also know that Kobe has said that he wants to leave on loan because he doesn't believe that he's going to play many games. Could you just update us on all three of those situations?
No, until it's official, I cannot say much. I want Kobe to stay. He needs to fight for his place, and we need Kobe. So it's not, that is not going to change. The rest, I don't know how he's going to finish. I understand that the players that are not playing in this moment are disappointed, but everyone has the same, will have the same opportunity to play. You have to fight during the week.
FC should listen to the fans' suggestions.
Some say John Jameson didn't just create an incredibly smooth whiskey, but the world's largest family. Now, they don't share DNA,
Chelsea. We think with some of your players, we were told yesterday that there's a deal agreed for Garnacho to go to Chelsea. We think that Rasmus is going to go to Napoli, but we also know that Kobe has said that he wants to leave on loan because he doesn't believe that he's going to play many games. Could you just update us on all three of those situations?
No, until it's official, I cannot say much. I want Kobe to stay. He needs to fight for his place, and we need Kobe. So that is not going to change. The rest, I don't know how he's going to finish. I understand that the players that are not playing in this moment are disappointed, but everyone has the same, will have the same opportunity to play. You have to fight during the week.
rightly so, to a great extent for their transfer business. But just looking at the end of Manchester United, and a club that's been heavily criticised, rightly so, to a great extent for their transfer business. But just looking at the end of this window now, with Rasmus Højlund, Jadon Sancho, Anthony joining Real Betis, Garnacho, you start to add this up, and they've not done too badly, have they, here in terms of sales? For a club that's heavily criticised for it, Marcus Rashford as well. You know, there are others, Elanga has brought in some money. Do we give them a little bit of credit here?
I think they've made the best of a bad situation. And I'll take the Garnacho one is quite a good example of that, because Garnacho has gone to Chelsea for 40 million. Now, Garnacho, in my opinion, is worth more than 40 million. He's 21, he's got Premier League experience, his ceiling is quite high if you can get it out of him. Madueke's gone from Chelsea to Arsenal for more than that. But in a situation that United created for themselves, with Amorim deciding that Garnacho wasn't going to be part of the squad, and everyone knows that he's available, he's not training with anyone, he's not part of the squad for the summer tour, everyone knows he wants out. I think 40 million is probably about as good a deal as they could have expected. So are those players combined worth more than the money that they've brought in? Yes. But have United done the best in the circumstances that they found themselves in and made for themselves, I must point out? Yes, I think both of those things can be true.
I think we have to accept that because I think there's often the comparison made between Amorim and Arteta in terms of manager coming in, a squad that's bloated with maybe some characters that are questionable. The churn that Arsenal went through, I mean, they paid off, I think it was 9 players in the end over a couple of seasons. They ripped up their contracts and got them off the books to just get them out the door, and cultural reset and all those sort of words we use, as I know has been said a lot about United. But they have actually got some money back through the door here. I mean, yes, obviously there's some huge losses in here, but I do feel as though, they've got to start somewhere, and not being in Europe, has that maybe helped them a little bit here? That they can say to these players, well, look, there are only, and now they've obviously already gone out of the League Cup, you've only got about 45 games, and that's if you get to the FA Cup final to go. So there's no point having this big squad. If you want to play and you're not part of the manager's plans, you really do have to go now.
Well, yeah, and it's also a World Cup year that people are obviously conscious of the game time. The Mainu one, it falls into that category, although he's going to stay. I mean, I think United do deserve credit for how they've, I would say, like how they've navigated the window, because there was a point at which everyone will know that they were running on a tight budget anyway. Obviously, they weren't in Europe. That hits them even harder. There was a point after they signed Mbuemo from Brentford where United was saying, we don't know what else we can do now. Like, we're kind of maxed out with the budget that we started the summer with. But because they've brought in a little, a few fees here and there, the Elanga one was important. They weren't expecting Elanga to go to Newcastle, but they had a sell on there. So they got, I think, 6 or 7 million, which is helpful. The headroom that they created with Rashford going early to Barcelona helped. If he had gone on deadline day, you can't spend that money because you're not sure he's going to go, but that got done relatively early, so you can kind of factor that in. How they navigated the window allowed them to bring in Sesko earlier than perhaps they'd planned, and then has also allowed them to bring in Lemens, the goalkeeper, a deal that even a couple of weeks ago they were saying this probably isn't going to be possible. Now, again, lots of United fans will perhaps look at the window and go, I'm a little bit underwhelmed. It could have been an awful lot worse.
But those United fans, and anyone watching United, has to accept that there has to be some short-term pain to get back. And Arsenal's a really good example. You talk about what Arteta walked into and how it took, a couple of windows to get people off, the Ozils, the Aubameyangs. And you have to do it. You can't just, it's not like flicking a light switch, is it? You can't just say, right, in, out, we're done. Because it's going to carry on. I mean, next summer, Casemiro, I'd imagine, will leave on a free transfer when his contract expires. That'll be more big wages off the books. They have to get to a point where they've cleared out the deadwood, and they've got to a situation where financially they're on a stronger footing. We know what's going on off the pitch in terms of job losses and things. This is going to be a tough year. And I think you're right. I think by getting these players out, and in the past they've had a terrible record in terms of what they've got for players. So prior to this window, if you take away Angel Di Maria and Romelu Lukaku were sold for big fees, albeit at a loss from the big fees that they signed for, Scott McTominay at £25 million to Napoli was their biggest sale since Sir Alex Ferguson left, which is ridiculous. Because look at McTominay's done really well at Napoli. I think Elanga went for peanuts. Dean Henderson went for about £15 million to Crystal Palace. So they haven't really realised their value. I mean, look at Liverpool. I think got £40 million last year from Brentford for Carvalho and Sepp van den Berg. So Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea have done far better than United in terms of getting money in. This year, I think they've had a positive window. Like you said, look, they could have done with another midfielder, but they couldn't afford it. So they've turned the oil tank around a little bit, but it's going to still take a bit of time.
Just on that though, and we spoke to Ruben Amorim in the summer when we were away in Chicago, and one of the things he said was, can't do everything that we want to do in one window. And I think that's perfectly reasonable kind of explanation. They obviously wanted a more established number one. They need a midfielder, but he was very sort of straight with us and said, look, we've tried to do the best with what we've got. We can't do everything. The danger is, though, that the future never comes. And if you spoke to Erik ten Hag and Jose Mourinho and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, probably David Moyes and Louis van Gaal, they will all tell you that they started building the team that they wanted, and they were told by Man United, well, we can do what we can now, and in the next window we'll do a bit more. But for them, the next window never came because the results got so bad that they ended up leaving. Now, the danger for Ruben Amorim is that he does all this. They have the short-term pain that you've just mentioned. Results don't turn around, and by November he's right under the cosh, and he ends up getting the sack. And then they bring someone else in who wants to start all over again, and we're sat here in a year's time saying it's going to be a bit of short-term pain. This new guy needs to make his own moves, and that is lots of United fans will be listening to this thinking, this future, this bright future that's always seems to be just starting, when is it going to arrive?
But that's right. But I think you mentioned Ten Hag there. I think we have to say, we're recording this on the day that he was sacked by Bayer Leverkusen after 2 Bundesliga games in charge. The mess that he left for his successor at Man United gets bigger and bigger every time. The players that he signed for massive fees, and he wanted these players. He wanted Anthony, he wanted Andre Onana. He basically wasted 3 months of his first window chasing Frenkie de Jong when de Jong and his agent had told United, I don't want to go there. So United and Amorim were unpicking the mess left by Ten Hag, who was probably unpicking the mess left by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But the big mess that Erik ten Hag left, I think, has been kind of underestimated, and I don't think Amorim has been given enough credit for having. Look, Amorim's made his own mistakes, and he's still making the mistakes, but he inherited a terrible squad from Ten Hag, some absolute dross.
One thing I would say though is that if we're sort of comparing Amorim and Arteta, where Arteta deserves a lot of credit is that he became very pragmatic very quickly while they were trying to get those players out the door, and it was about imposing the right discipline on the group. It was a very, I mean, it wasn't an easy watch, and it wasn't smooth. We have to remember that, it's something that Arteta's never quite admitted, but I think he would in his private moments, that had COVID not happened and the fans had been in the stadium, I think he might have lost his job, because the fans were very frustrated with the kind of football they were playing, the sort of inconsistencies. But they managed to navigate that period because they were very pragmatic, and they got the results. That the FA Cup semi-final and the final of 2020 is a perfect example of that, where they were coached within an inch of their lives and they got over the line by kind of grinding it out. And I'm not sure Amorim, well, he's shown no signs yet of compromising, his philosophy to actually navigate this difficult period. It's all well and good, as you say, the future's going to be bright, but can he really sell this vision of this is the way I want to play when he palpably does not have the squad still to play that system?
Was pragmatic in many ways to save his job. Amorim is wedded to his system to the point where it might cost him his job, because it really is the situation now where it doesn't look to be working. A lot of the players don't fit the system, but he's still sticking with it. He won't have that courage to say, guys, this system of mine, let's put it on the back burner and let's get some results.
And that is the danger. The danger is that he sticks with a system with a group of players who don't fit it. He's trying his best to grind it out. I mean, if there's ever an example of grinding out a win, it's 3-2 at home against Burnley in the last minute with a stoppage time penalty. The danger is, though, that he doesn't get through this really dangerous period, and the pressure becomes too much, the pressure on the board becomes too much, and he loses his job. And then ultimately United are back to square one, looking for a new manager who's going to want his own set of players, coming in with his own system, and you just have to start all over again.
Quickly, let's just talk about the goalkeeper situation, because obviously that is something they addressed on deadline day. What do we know about Lamens? What do we know about where he's going to fit in terms of, will he start the first game after the international break?
Well, we don't. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've watched him play an awful lot. I mean, I know that he's highly rated in Belgium. He's had one full season playing for Royal Antwerp. By all accounts, he played very well. He's got deficiencies, as lots of young players have got. United are urging caution with this, that it would be... United fans will look at it and go, well, we've got trouble with Onana and Bayindir. We've signed a goalkeeper on deadline day. He is the number one. Well, United are kind of saying, maybe not. He's being billed as one for the future who will come in to the senior goalkeeping group now and boost that group and will compete for his place with Onana and Bayindir. Now, the first game after the international break is away at City, so in terms of baptism of fire, that's about as tough as it gets.
Well, imagine, I mean, if you're Ruben Amorim, you're having sleepless nights, aren't you? Thinking, right, I don't trust Onana, I don't trust Bayindir, but can I throw this kid into the Manchester derby?
Well, I think Onana starts that game.
Especially when at the other end, he's probably going to be Gianluigi Donnarumma.
Yeah,
who they could have signed, but they didn't sign. So, you know,
I would be amazed if Leben starts that game. I think it will be either Andre Nana or Bayindir.
Just on that though, I mean, we're talking. We are giving United a bit of praise, a bit of love here for a change about their window. Could they or should they not have just gone a bit further and just got an experienced keeper in and a midfielder who can run?
Well, I think if you look at the window, you can move different parts around. You know, should they have signed Mbeumo and Cunha
And Sesko?
And Sesko, could they have signed two of those and then invested the rest of the money in a midfielder, a clear need in that system, or could they have spent the money on a more established number one? I think lots of United fans will look at it and think probably yes. I mean, there's a situation now that when Cunha and Mbeumo are both fit, that you've got Mason Mount, who Amorim loves, and also Bruno Fernandes, who probably both should be playing in those two number 10 roles, and you've got Ugarte, Casemiro and Mainu fighting for those two number 6 roles when really none of them really fit.
Do you get a sense, I can't believe I'm about to ask you about the next window with the only, just the last one's just shut, but do you get a sense with Balibo, who seemed to be the one that they were looking at for that midfield position, do you get a sense that they will now, if they've not already, start working on that for
I think so.
26?
I imagine that there was enough work that was put in during this summer for it to come out at all that there was interest. You know, there was lots of reports that Balibo was quite keen to join Man United. Obviously, Brighton now are well aware of United's interest. Obviously, a lot can happen in a season. I don't think it's the type of deal that you can get done in January because of the numbers that are involved. But I think right now, if you were to ask Omar Barada and Ruben Amorim, who's your number one midfield target, I imagine that he would be quite high on that list. Whether it gets done or not, I don't know. Whether Amorim's even in charge at the time, who knows? But I imagine sat here right now, he'd be top of their list.
United have spent over also got some big names off their books, including Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. I mean, look, we've got Sancho, Antony, Rashford, Garnacho, Højlund and Malacia still waiting to see what happens with him. Chris, you were making a point mainly on Antony, who's a sale there of 21.7 million. We heard 3 years ago going for 80 million to Man United.
I mean, Manchester United's recruitment. I mean, Højlund as well. They brought him in for an absolute fortune. Now he's away on loan. Sancho was brought in as well. I mean, the money Manchester United. You speak about their goalkeeping problems. The recruitment at that club for the last number of years is incredibly bad. You look and you think, it's Manchester United. I mean, even like Rashford's wages. I mean, he doesn't. He signs what he's offered. So the amount of money the club has wasted now for a long period of time, somebody does really need to get a grip of it from top to bottom.
So what have you made of it? Because it does seem like Manchester United, they make these massive deals, the players come in and then it all gets a little bit ugly. They're all training in a separate location to the others, their changing rooms are different. Where do they go after this? Have they got to change their strategy?
Yeah, 100%. Like, the recruitment hasn't been good enough. And we were talking about it on the show on Saturday, and we were saying the manager's changing as well. So I think, the style's changing. So then you're bringing in different players to fit with that style. So at some point, they've got to be patient. They've got to stick with the manager. They've then got to build with that manager and bring the right players in that are going to, sort of play that style. So, yeah, when, I looked at the start of the transfer window and you thought, OK, they've brought in some good attacking players. They're players that they needed because, they didn't score enough goals, they didn't create enough chances last season. But then you also looked at the midfield area and you thought, well, to play the way that Amorim wants to play, they need probably more legs and more athleticism in there. Then you looked at the goalkeeper situation, which I know that they're addressing with Le Mans. Whether he's the right goalkeeper or not, I'm not too sure. But yeah, when you look at that and you look at the amount of money that they've spent and then what they're going for, the recruitment certainly hasn't been good enough.
Do you think, Michael, do you think they've got rid of the right players? Yeah, and what I mean by that, you know, you're looking at, I mean, Garnacho you can claim as an academy project, but still a great player on his day. Looking at this team, do you think they've made the right decisions?
Well, you can go along from there. Sancho, Aston Villa. I mean, Anthony, you're losing just under £60 million in 3 years. Remarkable. Marcus Rashford gone on loan. Garnacho, Højlund field from Malacia. I mean, Garnacho, you could talk about professionalism, body language. I mean, and with Boydie, it's just remarkable. A football club of Manchester United can waste money like they do and not get it right. I mean, you make the odd mistake, but it just seems to be constant with Manchester United. And you look at the money spent now. I mean, they've gone with Cunha and Mbeumo, who big fans of. But it wasn't too long ago we were saying I'm a big fan of Sancho, like Rashford, like Garnacho, and then they're all out the door. So there's something not quite right. A mentality, a mindset of going, it's a heavy shirt to play in. But I'm going to knuckle down, I'm going to be good. Mainu, what happens with Mainu? He was wanting a loan move. It wasn't long ago, there was a picture with three of them, Højlund, Mainu and Garnacho, sat there all happy. The future of Manchester United. How it's all gone wrong. And there just seems to be a knock-on effect year after year, and you see we touched about on changing the manager. They have to get something right, they have to stick with it, and they've got to have a plan. And it just don't seem to have it at the moment in time, because they just waste so much money.
You look at even Scott McTominay, who has went to Napoli. He's been a victim of the poor recruitment, and they've moved him on, obviously to free up money. But he played under every manager. You know, he's a good, talented player. He's went and showed that in Naples, and you look at him now, they keep signing in players. I mean, it's just a graveyard.
It's interesting to see that they are getting rid of, you know, and that was, I think, the fan perspective on the Kobbie Mainoo thing was almost like it would be the last straw if it had gone. But it is like they're looking at the net profit of, okay, we can get Garnacho out. He's an academy, you know, talent that we've had. We're going to make pure profit back on that. Same with Scott McTominay. So, you know, but when you see who has left and then you've got who's come in, you know, Dorsey was touching on it, Mbeumo, Cunha, you've got Šeško up top now. Are Man United stronger now than where they were at the start of the window?
Yeah, I think they are. They're stronger. They are stronger. I think Mbeumo and Cunha makes Man United strong. The jury's out on Šeško. This jury's still out on it. But he hasn't played enough games at the moment.
Why would you spend?
But why have you spent 70 million on him and you keep him on the bench? Why not put him integrate? And they played, no disrespect, they played Burnley at home on the weekend. Why are you not starting your centre forward to try and get him confidence?
He was claiming that he was suffering from cramp on.
Then Cunha gets injured and then you don't bring him on.
Yeah.
You still don't bring him on. And as the number 9, I understand suffering from cramp against Grimsby. Grimsby dominated them. That's
why they said he took the last penalty.
Nah, even if I've got cramp, I'm taking the first 5. If you pay 70 million, I've got to stand up and be counted for. But I'm not blaming Šeško, because if he should be the one who says to the manager, I want to prove myself. But I do think their window, they've got a strong window. I do think they look better, but Cunha's just picked up an injury, and Mbeumo has obviously got his goal again on the weekend, and Bruno scores the winning goal. But they are stronger, but they've got problems, and we've said that. Boydie's spot on. Their recruitment is nowhere near good enough. If you look at the list of players there, they're all talented. Why is it not working at that football club? There must be a reason why it's not working. Is it down to the individual, or is it down to someone at that football club who can't get the best out of them?
The other thing is, you know, you look at their players as well. I mean, Marcus Rashford is Barcelona. Sancho, he was at Chelsea last year. He's got Villa. Yeah. You know, like, it's not as if they're just going to clubs where it's Garnacho, Chelsea, Højlund, Napoli, champion. Do you know what I mean?
Is this a victim of the change in manager though? Like you're looking at, I mean, Tyrell Malacia, for instance, right, is an Erik ten Hag signing.
Yeah.
He's now gone. As soon as he's gone, now Amorim doesn't want him. You know, Michael, what would you say?
Yeah, that happened. Erik ten Hag signed Anthony for a ridiculous amount of money. He wanted him.
Also like Garnacho as well.
Yeah, and paid way over the price. You have to do. Manager comes in going, I want that player out. And Šeško now might be the same as what Højlund is. I was one when Højlund went in going, give him time. It was a disaster for Manchester United. Could Šeško be another one? They have to get him when you're paying that much money. I'll get him fit playing him. That is the question.
Because if you're a manager, and you're under pressure and you sign somebody for the amount of money that they've signed Sesko for, the first thing you're doing is putting them in your team.
Exactly.
You're not looking to create problems with not playing them. And then people are going to question, you've spent another fortune on a striker, you're not playing them. They need to get them in the team. So if that's the case, who's signing them?
Yeah, I think, Sue, a lot has been said obviously about Šeško here, but you still look at it in terms of Mbeumo, Cunha, two Premier League proven players that could take Man United to that next level. Is it also about working out?
The top half?
Yeah, well seeing those two players who are Premier League proven, know what they want in front of them. The manager's clearly favouring Mason Mount at the minute. Is that what he's just trying to work out? I've got these two boys that these two have to start each time. Who are they best with?
Yeah, probably. And, I think we were all looking and we were saying, well, how come Šeško's not starting in that game at the weekend? Is it because he doesn't quite feel that he's quite ready yet? He's quite fit enough yet? It was an opportunity to sort of put him in there. But yeah, it is about trying to find who fits in with the system that obviously Amorim wants to play. Yes, bringing in Cunha and Mbeumo, you know that they are Premier League proven. You know that they can score goals and they can assist in the Premier League. Šeško may take a little bit more time to adapt. So yeah, there's so many different things, isn't there, around this Manchester United, and you just hope that from the top to the bottom, it all sort of starts to align.
You have to play Sesko. As Boydie said, you paid all that money. Cunha has been playing through the middle as a 9. Cunha's best position is on that left-hand side as a number 10, playing in them little pockets where him and Mbeumo cause problems, which he did at Wolves and Mbeumo did at Brentford. Sesko, if I'm the centre forward and Boydie will tell you and you're bringing me for 70 million and you're leaving me on the bench, I'm starting to think, did you want to sign me or did someone else at the club want to sign me? Because I'm thinking I should go straight in. I understand why he's playing Mason Mount. When Mason Mount's fit, Mason Mount is a top player. So you want to try and build his confidence up. But can he not play? And I see him do it at Fulham the other day, where he played him with Bruno Fernandes. They were obviously chasing it. No, they weren't. They were chasing that game there. And they did bring him with Bruno Fernandes to sit in there. And he can play in them positions. You do find a place in the team for Mason Mount, because I think he's a good player, but not at the expense of Šeško.
Well, there you go. And United have done their business, but still some big questions. Joining me tonight are former Newcastle and West Ham manager Alan Pardew and former Tottenham manager Tim Sherwood. Welcome along, guys. Let's start with Manchester United. And just 3 weeks into the season, Ruben Amorim is under pressure like never before. 1 point from 2 games in the Premier League and an embarrassing EFL Cup exit at the hands of Grimsby. So he knew what to expect at his news conference today.
Every time that we have in the future one defeat like that, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to say sometimes I hate my players, sometimes I love my players, sometimes I want to defend my players. I think I cannot, this is my way of doing things, and I'm going to be like that. And I felt that in that moment I was so frustrated and annoying, and I know, again, that you have a lot of experienced people talking about the way I should perform with the media, to be more constant, to be more calm. I'm not going to be like that. So I'm trying to accept that, and I'm going to be who I am. And that's why I have the passion that I have. Sometimes I want to quit. Sometimes I want to be here for 20 years. Sometimes I love to be with my players. Sometimes I don't want to be with him. So again, I need to improve on that. It's going to be hard. But now I'm focused in the next game.
Well, guys, as I say, welcome along to Premier League Friday. I mean, firstly, Alan, what do you make of that from Ruben?
Well, he's a sort of an expert in the press conferences. I have to say, if he was going to do some sort of conference on how to deal with them, he's brilliant. His manner and everything else. But the Grimsby game, he really got caught out. He got, there are times as a manager, and Tim will tell you, where you get caught in the headlights a little bit, your head's gone. And he was gone the other night. And, a lot of things he said kind of didn't add up. And it put himself under a lot of pressure. He's tried to rectify that today by sort of saying, the emotion and everything else. But let's be honest, it wasn't his best night.
Yeah, I think, Tim, as well, would you agree that is kind of it's a little bit damage limitation within a press conference where you're like, don't say anything else to, further the flames. Do you think he's done well there?
He's not done well, no, not at all. But from the outside, we love it. I love him. I love his personality. Love his charisma. I don't like his football team, which is the main thing. I'm not sure the Man United fans are loving it at the moment, or the owners or the directors of the football club. Listen, I've done that many a times, and from the outside, I'm sitting there the other night, and today I'm saying, what are you talking about? Just keep your mouth shut. Yeah. And I'm sure people used to do that with me. Yeah. But ultimately, you end up sitting here. You're out of the job. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen to him. It looks like the job's too big for him, Roman, at the moment. It really does. I mean, the other night with the tactics board, it was just embarrassing. You're 2-0 down to a League Two side. You're getting out-fought. Don't worry about tactics. It's not about tactics. If it was about tactics, you wouldn't be 2-0 down in the first place. Yeah. It's about passion. It's about desire. You're going to find no heart looking down at that board. Yeah. He needed help. He needed to be out there on the front. Not that he can do too much when you stand up there, but you can't hide in the dugout. You need to get out there on the touchline, and you need the perception even.
To look like you're facing it.
You're facing it with your fans and the millions of people around the world watching, the Man United fans, the biggest club in the world, and it looks like it's a little bit too big for him.
Just on the tactics board thing, it was a fascinating thing. Both as managers. I mean, Alan, when you saw him there and he's got the tactics board out, I guess as a fan, you look at it and you're going, oh, it's Grimsby away. Surely, you should have this all planned out. But is that a normal thing? Were you surprised to see it?
Well, I was surprised under the circumstances. He's battling against the second division team and is pouring with rain. It obviously looked poor. Yeah. The memes that we've all seen that people
That's
have
not
changed.
his fault, though.
No, I know.
I can't blame him
for the rain.
Yeah, one of the issues you always have as well, that that when you was a player, you have to refer to when you was a player. Yeah. You actually not taking anything on when you're coming on the pitch. No. You just want to get on there and make a difference. Yeah. You just tell them where to play and they get on with it. You don't start getting tactic boards out because they're not even focused on that. I mean, the bottom line for him the other night was the fundamentals of the game they didn't cover. No. And if you don't do that in cup games, you're in trouble.
Well, that's the thing as well. A lot of people were obviously talking about the formation, that system that Amorim has played throughout his career, obviously brought it to Manchester United last year and now carrying on into the new season. Can you blame a system in a game like that? No. Was that the problem?
No, you could pick 11 players who are assigned to Manchester United. And let's credit because they've done a good job.
Unbelievable.
They've done a fantastic job. They set them up really well. But they what they had? They had something under their shirt, and I never saw that from enough Man United players. Enough heart and drive and desire to want to cause an upset.
I think that's what Amorim was sort of suggesting after, wasn't he? Yeah. Sort of saying, I've been here and it's really disappointed. I was looking for so much more from my players, and because what he felt was the spirit of Grimsby against the spirit of Man United on that particular occasion was not even. Yeah. One was a lot higher than the other.
But that's even more damning. Yeah. It's not that, we talk about the three at the back and he's so stubborn he won't change. But forget tactics. In this sort of a game, you could have picked 11 players and threw them onto that pitch and said, just play. Yeah. And they would have won that game. Just play if you get the fundamentals right, what Alan's talking about. Yeah. You win tackles, you win battles. The only thing can beat you is yourself here. And they weren't up for it. Yeah. And they got caught short and they deserve to win the game.
Have you ever, though, been in that situation, trying to obviously sympathise from where Amorim might be coming from in this thing of, we've seen this whole string of people saying, managers these days are very stubborn to their tactics. You look at the Russell Martin situation with Southampton last season. Has there ever been a situation for you where you've been really wedded to an idea, that you want to implement into your side, so much so that it's been almost self-defeating?
Absolutely. And, you get particularly when you're on a losing run, you want to change things around, and so you commit to it, and you commit the training and everything to it, and then suddenly you're there on a Saturday afternoon after 15 minutes realising it ain't working. Yeah. And that is the art for me of a great manager, to kind of swallow his pride a little bit and go, right, okay, half time, it's done. Yeah. It ain't going. It's not working out for us. Let's go back to what we know and just do the job. Yeah. So a lot of the philosophies and the managers carrying it through is actually, in my sense, lack of IQ, football IQ. Yeah. You've got to win the game. You're paid as a football manager by the owners to win games. That's your job, not to promote yourself or I'm super clever. Yeah. It's about winning games.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that has been quite a struggle for him so far in his Man United career.
Afraid so.
Well, let's get another angle on this from the Athletic's Manchester United reporter, Laurie Whitwell. Laurie joins us now. Laurie, hello, mate. What have you...
Hi, guys. You okay?
Yeah, very well, thank you. I mean, look, Laurie, Grimsby, Wednesday night, it was always going to be one of those fixtures that everyone was going to be keeping an eye on. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, hello to Tim and Alan as well, as you, Roman. I used to cover the Midlands, so I had many entertaining press conferences with Alan and Tim when they were managers of West Brom and Aston Villa, so thanks for that. But yeah, Grimsby was an occasion unlike any I've experienced before, really, because of the atmosphere, the fact that it was, a League Two team against Manchester United, and then United go and play so poorly, and Grimsby were well worth their victory. Obviously, it took them to penalties in the end, but certainly they were the better team. And then we kind of wondered what kind of mood would Ruben Amorim be in afterwards, because he has had these kind of sort of episodes before, after the Brighton game last season, when he'd given the players a very stern talking to in the Old Trafford dressing room, and then up to us in the press conference and sort of called them the worst team in United's history. So, we were then starting to hear the interviews that he was giving to the other outlets, Radio 5 Live and TalkSport and the like. ITV was the big one where he sort of said, you can't change 22 players again. And that was the one where you're sort of thinking, OK, he's sort of thinking about his own position here again, because as we reported on The Athletic previously, he did do that at the end of last season at different moments and was persuaded against sort of offering his position. And then he even spoke to us about that in Chicago when he was open about it. And this is one of the really good things about him from a journalistic point of view. You can ask him any question and he will answer it, and you can kind of have that human connection with him. So yeah, then it comes to the written sort of section, and where it's not a press conference because it's Grimsby Town. It's they don't really have a room for that. So we're on the pitch and it's sort of just still raining a little bit, and we're kind of asking him in a huddle around each other. So yeah, I mean, my question to him was, what could you change now? And sort of his answer to that was, I don't know. I could give you a load of intelligent answers, as the guys have just been alluding to in terms of tactics or whatever, but I actually don't have any answers to that, and that's a really concerning thing. And so I think that maybe is underneath it all, whatever about he might resign or not, and he hates his players, he loves his players, he wants to quit or he wants to stay 20 years. I think actually having the answers as to how to retrieve this situation is the fundamental issue right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of Man United fans, when he first came in, there was always that question of like, if it does go bad again, is there an option for Ruben to walk away? Are they going to see more managerial changes at Man United? Are we in a situation now where Ruben walking away from Manchester United is a real possibility?
I don't think so, ultimately. I mean, he's tempered what he said there over in the press conference. I think that when I spoke to people the day afterwards, this is something that has come through before from him, where he's sort of saying, I might resign, but I don't think he's ever really gone there with United. It's sort of part of his emotion that he has, I suppose. And I suppose there comes a point, how often can you say that and not sort of follow through with it? I do think that he's got tremendous affection for the staff that he's got there. I know the guys will know about this when, you go to football clubs, right, and you bring, some members of your team with you. He can perhaps afford to walk away. And he said previously, without a conversation about compensation. I don't know if that's because there's already a clause in his contract that would determine how much compensation he'd get. But there's also this element of him wanting to protect the people that he's brought with him. And obviously they're not, on the kind of same money that he is. So I don't personally think that he will walk away. And equally, I don't think that the club are minded at all to terminate his contract, because I think they're absolutely, together with him, aligned, and their reputations are with his as much as, his own reputation as a football manager.
Absolutely. And we've got the hot topic of Kobbie Mainoo to cover as well, because he was asked about it today. Is there a possibility that Kobbie could leave? He was adamant that Kobbie is going to stay and fight for his place. As a Man United fan yourself, do you see Kobbie at all in a position where he might not be a Man United player next week?
United are insisting he's going to stay, but certainly it's a live issue because he wants more minutes. It's a World Cup year, and he's obviously not in Thomas Tuchel's England squad, even though he started the European Championship final in 2024. So yeah, I think it's been an issue that's been bubbling along all summer, really, because I think he sort of saw that he wasn't going to be, given those kind of minutes consistently. And the idea would be, from his point of view, alone, so that therefore you can go away, get those minutes, come back. I don't think he wants to sever ties entirely, but it is certainly a live topic. And at the moment, United are saying they won't sanction that. I think they also themselves, at different points over the summer, have looked at whether a sale is possible, because he is one of these assets that could generate a lot of money, and he doesn't quite fit, it seems to me, what Ruben Amorim wants from his midfielders. The athleticism, the up and down nature of what he wants from that number 8 position. He sees him competing with Bruno Fernandes, and that's something that I think shows him that he's going to struggle for minutes this season, because you just don't drop Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, Laurie, thank you so much, mate, and we'll speak soon. Thank you so much. Well, look, guys, you hear it from there, from Laurie, obviously big reporter, Man United fan himself. There is that real sense, especially around a player like Kobbie Mainoo, that has got such massive ties with not just the team, with the city, being an academy graduate. Do you see, if you do end up selling Kobbie, is that a failure in just the club and the management side?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know why he doesn't like Kobbie Mainoo. I really don't. He was a superstar a couple of years ago. Come onto the scene, got in the England squad, went to the tournament. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's flexible as well. I think he can play as an 8. You hear Laurie there talking about, has he got the athleticism to get up and down? Of course he has. He's a young man,
Yeah.
Or if he hasn't, we'll build it into him. But he certainly has. I've seen it. I've seen all these attributes. He's got everything, that boy. I'm not sure what his attitude's like. So the only thing I point to, I'm not saying he's got a bad attitude, but the only reason I can see why he's not playing is because the manager doesn't fancy him. And for some reason, obviously, Ruben Amorim wants to win football matches.
Yeah.
And Kobbie Mainoo, for me, is one of their better midfield players, but he's not getting a look in. And you have to look elsewhere. If he's saying, like he come out and said the other night, he's fighting for one position with Bruno Fernandes. Yes, you can drop Bruno Fernandes, or push him forward, but you've just signed 2 players in Burmo and Cunha in them 10 positions. It's going to be very difficult for him to get a game. So I would say to him, I heard what you said. I can play other positions, I'm a decent 6. I can play as an 8. I'm flexible. I've got the attributes to play in different positions.
Do you think?
But you don't recognise it, which worries me, Gaffer.
Yeah.
That was what I would be saying to him.
But that's interesting. I mean, Alan, do you think Kobbie will be having those conversations with the manager? Will be saying, look, I can do
sounds like he
else.
has, because he's put a transfer request in to go on loan. More or less made it. I mean, the thing that you think about Man United, when I look at Man United, I look at the leadership of the team. And you think back of the great old sides of Man United, there is no leadership in that team, in my opinion. Yeah. Bruno doesn't do the job, not in the way he should, for me. So I think his position is under threat a little bit, and Manu should put him under pressure. Yeah. The other problem you got with Manu, which is really important, is that he's pure profit for Man United. Now, financially, we all know, with all the layoffs and all the changes they've made in the background with catering staff, etc., the cutting costs, are they really up against it? In which case he might have to go, like so many of the young players who have just recently gone out of Man United. Garnacho being one of them.
Yeah, Alanga, McTominay, Rashford.
If I was a Man United fan, I'd be really, really disappointed if he leaves the football club. Really. I think he's a terrific player.
And as we mentioned, Jules, the reason we're having this conversation is when you looked at Manchester City, a goalkeeper wasn't a priority, which of course is quite the opposite to the red side of Manchester. When you think, right, a goalkeeper like Donnarumma would be perfect for them, surely just to bring a little bit of experience and stability into the back. Why didn't that happen?
I don't know, it's a good question. I mean, he wanted a team that played in the Champions League anyway, so United already, that was not the case. This is, for Donnarumma, and we didn't mention it when we talked about him in City, this is a 100 million euro really investment, because if you count the transfer fee plus the 5-year contract with big wages, this is what it would cost you, and maybe United were not ready to spend that on a goalkeeper. What's more interesting maybe is the Dibu Martinez situation with United, because clearly they were very keen on him. The leadership, the personality, the experience, a winning goalkeeper, World Cup winner, Copa America winner, all of that. That against a young, up-and-coming, very talented but still young and inexperienced with 1 year of professional football behind him in St. Lamens from Royal Antwerp, with a lot of people watching us would have never heard of that club. And then between the two, they go for the younger options. Cheaper options, probably. And I think one of the issues today was that Dibu Martinez demands were not really of agreement with United. Very different to Lamens, who's not going to cost them much in wages at all, for example. But in terms of profile, not even just pure goalkeeping qualities that Xhaka can talk about, but just for the leadership that this United team, that Lamens doesn't really have because he's been there 2 minutes as a pro compared to Dibu Martinez, I find this choice really surprising.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like,
well, show me a recent. Well, on the face of it, they look as if they've made a couple of better signings, but over the last 3 or 4 years, we could pick out a dozen signings. You go, huh? That's a scratcher. What's that one about? And you know, they're in this, they keep talking about projects and this, that and the next thing, and Jules is right. They have built their success over the years. They've always had an experience, whether it was Schmeichel or Barthez or even Mark Bosnich for a period. They've always had, you know, keepers that were super confident and would sort of bully a back four.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'll be honest, I have no idea what this young man's like. I've not got a Scooby like most people, so I don't know. Clearly, they must have done their homework, but then we could say that about 15 of their signings in the last 4 or 5 years. Well, they must have done their homework, and they're selling Rasmus Højlund for half the price. They're getting rid of Anthony for a pittance compared to what they paid. So I can't tell you about the recruitment strategy.
As the story was developing yesterday, I thought this had to be some kind of bluff, that they're going for both. You understand the signing of Lamens at...
You're going for Martinez as well?
Absolutely. You understand the signing of Lamens at that price and more as a long-term project. But you've got to get Dibu Martinez in for all the reasons that Jules just said. And while signing 2 goalkeepers in one transfer window might seem odd, Manchester United need it. If you look at the 2 who've occupied those spots over the last season and 3 games so far between Bandier and Onana. So you totally understand 2 goalkeepers coming in. Now, my concern with Lamens is, regardless of how talented he is, he's inexperienced. You cannot drop an inexperienced goalkeeper into this back four. You dropped a very experienced one in Andre Onana into this back four. You dropped a goalkeeper who, with Inter, got to a Champions League final. And they wanted his leadership, and this back four just left him exposed to the point where his confidence is now shattered. Now you bring a young man who's playing in Belgium, has got 1 Champions League game to his resume, and put him into this and expect him to transform Manchester United defensively. I thought, again, this was a huge miss for them in terms of the long-term prospects for Lamens, and more importantly, the short-term for Dibu Martinez coming in and what he would have given them.
And you think they're going to have to drop him in after the...
They're going to have to.
After the international break. And if you look at United's fixtures after the international break, it's the tough first 3 or 4 games are against some of the big boys. So that's where they're going to have to drop him in, unless they say, oh, we're just going to wrap him in a bit of cotton wool. But how can they do that when the other 2 are as bad as they are? So they're going to have to put him in the side.
We spoke a lot over the last couple of months about United needing reinforcements in midfield, Jules. And, of course, the reason that they didn't bring new people in is because of the wage bill, because they needed to clear some of these players off their books. Great news. They've done it. Jadon Sancho. Højlund's gone as well, and Anthony's gone to Betis. The problem is they've done it all today, which means that they've now got these wages off their books. However, they've got no time to bring anyone new in. And once again, if you're a United fan, you're sat there scratching your head saying, why is all this being done at the last minute and not done a couple of months ago, where we could use those resources to bring in much-needed reinforcements to this squad?
Well, I think simply because all the clubs that were ready to look into signing Anthony or Sancho, Garnacho, those kind of guys, knew that United were in a weak position because everybody, the whole world and more, knew that they wanted those players out. So if you're Betis, of course you wait until the last day of the transfer window because you're going to get an even better bargain. Same for Højlund, same for Sancho, same for Garnacho to a certain extent. I know it was not done today, but it was still only done on Saturday. Because all those clubs knew that United was so desperate that wait a little bit longer and at the end they say, okay, we give him to you for X amount or this or that, get him on loan or pay some of his wages, all of that. And that's where United were again naive or incompetent, whatever word you want to use on the transfer window, because they just managed this whole situation of their bomb squad, which by the way is a terrible name to use for the players we don't want. It's even more like, we want them out. Look, we've just even put them in their own little squad that can't even train with the first team, but we want decent money for them. So please come and help us. No chance. And that's the reason. And you're right, the midfield, a keeper was needed. Forward, you probably need but three like Šeško and Bomo and Cunha, I'm not sure. But midfield in this system for Amorim is key. And yet they didn't get any reinforcement there, which is crazy, really.
The problem is United were absolutely desperate to get rid of some of these players.
And everybody knew it.
But nobody was desperate to get their players.
Yeah.
As Joe said, the clubs were prepared to wait and maybe miss out. I mean, Betis don't get Anthony, they'll survive.
Yeah.
You know, if Barcelona don't get Rashford, I know he was done a bit earlier, they'll survive. Chelsea don't get Garnacho, they'll survive. You know, Jadon Sancho. So, you know, clubs were willing to take them at a cut price. They were not desperate for these United players because they've been proven not good enough. They're taking them on a whim, hoping that for a fraction of the cost it may have been a couple of years ago, they can possibly do a job for them. But they've brought in so many bad players that have underperformed that nobody has been desperate for their players. Nobody's been banging the door down trying to pay over the odds. Not for any of them.
This is business 101, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you put 4 players in a corner and say you're not good enough, but you're still trying to get value, as Jules said, why not take them on tour? Why not just show what they can do? Why not pretend at least that they've got a part to play in your season to try and get people awake, just get them interested?
It's bonkers, isn't it?
It's absolutely...
If you've got a car lot, you don't put all the bangers in the corner, the old bangers in the corner, and then put a sale price on them and hope people come in and buy the ones that the tyres are hanging off.
It just doesn't happen. It doesn't make any sense. But is this down to Amorim?
It's down to, both Amorim and the club. I think, again, Amorim could have handled this a whole lot differently. And to your point, we said this at the time, when these 4 players were excluded from training and we're not having them in and we're not taking them on tour, Manchester United just openly said, we are taking whatever we can get for this lot. And then all of a sudden, when you realise, hold on a minute, we might be stuck with these, you try to bring them in and integrate them. I'm a little bit surprised that Rashford got away as quickly as he did. So everybody else in world football knows, even if I want those guys, I can afford to wait. I can afford to wait because there aren't going to be many buyers. There aren't going to be many interested parties. Manchester United, the closer we get to the closer the transfer window, the lower their prices is going to go. It just beggars belief. And for all our complaints about Manchester United playing-wise, Manchester United, over the years, and it's always a dangerous comparison to make, have been a very well-run football club. Nothing about their business coming or going speaks to the Manchester United that we continually talk about.
Who's responsible for this, Jules?
I think it's a bit of everyone, really. Amorim was very, very strict on, I don't need them, I don't want them here. I mean, he didn't even speak to them, So that was that. And from the club point of view, whether that was Fletcher, Wilcox or whoever is in charge of the recruitment and the sporting director role, if you want, it was also what they thought was the best. But I really think that Amorim didn't want them in that first team squad.
We've got now is who would want to take her, which is crazy to say that. I met a player to try and get him to sign for Derby at the Atlantis Water Park in Dubai.
Top of the log flume.
The jumper that I signed for Manchester United in was Queen's cousin's jumper. So, so yeah, it shows how prepared I was for it.
When I signed up to do this podcast, I wasn't really expecting that it might turn into a form of therapy for two Manchester United fans, including, of course, a Manchester United great, Wayne Rooney. It's Thursday afternoon. Manchester United did, of course, lose to Grimsby last night in the EFL Cup. So I guess the first question is, how's everyone feeling, Wayne?
It was difficult to watch, I think. I did feel there was a lot of positives in the Arsenal game, first game of the season, and then Fulham was a disappointment in the performance, and then to go to Grimsby and lose in the cup with a lot of the starting 11 involved in the game, the best players involved in the game, just the way they lost, it was disheartening. There's something not right. I think that's clear. I think the manager said that after the game, and I think that's clear for everyone to see that there's something not right there.
No, I'm surprised Wayne's just not like completely just going all in on Everton now. Like that's it. Like just cutting ties with the club. Like because honestly, I wouldn't blame anybody. Listen, you could talk about the tactics, you could talk about this, that, and the third, but at the end of the day, none of the players on that pitch should be losing to a fourth division side. Like you should be going out there 11 men. If you paid £70 million for a striker, you shouldn't be having to tell him like how to score a goal against Grimsby. Like, and this is, I don't know, anybody that's in the Premier League should be beating lower league opposition like that.
Yeah, okay, that can happen. No, it can happen. We lost to Crawley years back in the cup, and but the difference is, everyone looking at that game, they know it's a one-off.
Yes.
So the issue now is we're seeing very similar performances, similar results, and it's getting to, even though it's only 3 games into the season, it's getting to a point now where you're like, what is going on?
Okay, for those of you listening and watching at home, we actually recorded this podcast on Wednesday, but given what did happen at Grimsby on Wednesday night, we thought we had to jump on and react to it all. We've got some brilliant transfer stories coming up for you, but let's just dive into it a little bit more. We're going to try and keep it short and sweet, but go on, Kay. What is concerning you the most? Because there's so many different aspects and ways we could go with this, as Wayne's just mentioned.
Well, it's just everything that Wayne said, and also the fact that, it's August 28th, and realistically, we can only win one competition now, which is the FA Cup. Like that's the only competition we're still in. I can't see us winning.
Premier League?
No, you're joking. We'll be lucky to stay up at this rate. But it's concerning when you see your manager rocking back and forth on the bench when the penalties are happening and not even watching them, and his comments after the match weren't instilling you with any sort of confidence.
That's the biggest concern. The biggest concern is the manager saying that his words after the game were damning on the players, and obviously being in a position where I've been in that dressing room, if your manager comes out with them words, there's something broken. And I think what we forget, he's 40. He's a young manager, and Manchester United is so different to where he's been before. And you come in, there's the media team, the commercial team, the fans, the media. It's completely different, and there's a pressure with Manchester United which he will never have felt before. And when you're not winning games, that can start to get here, and it looks like yesterday was a breaking point for him.
But do you think there was any truth in the things he was saying about the players? Because I was looking at some of the players, like Sesko, star striker, you bought him in for £70 million, and then he's taking a penalty like 10th.
Yeah, that's crazy. He should be 1 or 2 really, taking a penalty. But I've never known a player to go into a football pitch and not try and win the game for his teammates, for the manager. I've had, I think it's well documented, me and Alex Ferguson had a bit of a falling out, but I'll go on that pitch and give everything I've got for the team, for him, that's for the fans. So I don't think the players weren't tired. Maybe was they a bit complacent? Maybe they've gone there thinking, oh, it's a League Two team, which can happen. You think, oh, we'll just turn up and win the game. That can happen, and then before you know it, the game's got away from you. So it happens. It'll happen again, probably in the next round to someone else. But just where Manchester United are at the minute, it's hard to take, really.
Do you know what one thing that's really annoying me is when you see that sort of attitude in a striker, that to go 10th in a penalty shooter, I'm like, are you the right sort of player for Man United?
Whose decision is that? Is that on the player or is that on the manager?
No, that's the player, because a manager would never put a player up to go first or second if the player didn't want to take a penalty. So I think he clearly didn't want to take a penalty. So that'll definitely be on the player. It's strange to have a striker who doesn't want to take penalties. Is crazy, and maybe that shows you a bit of, and I hope not, but a bit of his character, and I don't know, but if you're a forward, you should be wanting to take that penalty.
No, as a fan, I'd want to see some sort of reaction. I'd want to see, but Burnley, for me, if I don't see the players coming out with a bit of fire, with a bit of impetus to try and do well, then I don't know what I can say about this club after that, because it's looking like we're on a downward spiral and nobody can sort of try and stop it.
Yeah, but that's how it used to, when teams used to come to Old Trafford, you that's what you'd say. You wouldn't even talk about tactics. You'd say they should be relentless and outrun them, outpower them. And that's why we used to score so many late goals, because the opposition were dead on the feet. So for them not to do that every game, especially at Old Trafford, is crazy. I think there's just a little bit too much rotation going on, and players are getting a little bit lost. And when we lose the ball, there's massive gaps and spaces, and it's exactly it's a carry on from what happened last season. And if it carries on like that, then unfortunately, I don't see how it moves forward.
I was going to say, what is the way forward for Ruben Amorim? What is the way forward for Manchester United? Is that the same thing? Because watching his post-match interview last night, I mean, I've been the reporter in that situation many times, and if he came out like that, you're going, wow, this is incredible. But he felt like he was talking himself into something and then talked himself out of something. And it feels like he was trying to send a message to his players, but was he also trying to tell the board something? It felt like it was all quite confused. Do you feel like, Kay, there is a way forward for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United long term? Is this going to work out?
The only way there's a way forward is if he wins games, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's winning games. His comments were, "We'll look at the next game and then we'll sort it out in the international break." To me, that seems like he's saying, "We'll sort out my exit."
When you're doing an interview at the end of a game, you have to protect your players, whether you want to or not. And you can be honest with the players and have a go at them in the dressing room, but you have to protect the players.
Wayne was messaging me yesterday in the group saying, "Stay strong," and I was like, I was ripping my hair out. What is there left to stay strong about? Like, I've been strong for ages now. Look, it's one of those as well. Like, we get rid of him, and you're in the process of another rebuild, right? And are you going to go for a manager that plays a similar system as him, or are you going to go for a manager that plays a different system? And it feels a bit like disjointed. There doesn't seem to be any sort of continuity. And who's really out there in a manager market right now that you can bring in?
The problem we've got now is who would want to take it, which is crazy to say that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's you've got one of the biggest clubs in the world, and you've probably got managers sitting there thinking, not now.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's how quick it's changed, and listen, I'm there a lot at the club with my boys, and want the club to succeed and be successful, and I think it will get back, and no doubt about that. It's too big a club not to, but when you're in it in this moment, it is very difficult to watch.
I mean, I did come in there and offer some perspective in the WhatsApp chat and say, well, could be worse, could be a Watford fan like me. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, who's your manager this week?
Shut up. I haven't heard that joke before. I get it every other week from all my other mates. Anyway, that's where we'll leave that. I'm sure we're going to talk about Manchester United a fair bit more on next week's show and the week after and the week after that. But let's get on with the bulk of this week's show, which is transfer themed. And Wayne has had some brilliant stories for us. It's a busy old week, isn't it? I actually loved the last week of the transfer window. I particularly loved this transfer window in general. It's felt like we've had loads of drama. But we thought we could rewind the clock back and reminisce on a certain transfer. One of the biggest in Manchester United's history, some could say, Kay, when Wayne Rooney signed for Manchester United.
Do you know
You're saying as if you kind of forgot it ever happened.
Yeah. No, do you know what the funniest thing about that was? It was sort of it was rumoured that it was happening anyway throughout the whole summer after the Euros. But it was on deadline day that it randomly happened. But I was glued to the TV that whole day just watching it and seeing like different footage and Wayne going into to United with his crutches on and stuff as well. So it was just like every 2 minutes you're just like looking at it, waiting for another update. It wasn't like now where you've got like 13 journalists reporting on like every aspect of it. So it was like you tried to get everything you could. But what was that actually like going through it, Wayne?
Do you know what? I was quite chilled. I was, at the time, there was a lot of press trying to follow me around and stuff. So I was actually staying in Colleen's uncle's in Liverpool with Colleen. And the night before deadline day, we sat in, we had a Chinese, had a few glasses of wine.
You really were chilled.
And then I actually had no clothes there. So the jumper that I signed for Manchester United in was Colleen's cousin's jumper. So, so yeah, it shows how prepared I was for it.
What we all want to know is what was on that Chinese order as well, though, Wayne.
I don't know. It probably will have been like salt and pepper chicken wings, salt and pepper chips.
Oh no, chips from a Chinese. I don't get it.
What?
Go to a chippy, go and get fish and chips if you want chips.
Yeah, but they're not the Chinese chips.
How come it got left so late though?
It was just rumbled on, and I think, if I'm being honest, I think Alex Ferguson wanted to wait another year. And then Newcastle kept coming in, and I would have went to Newcastle if United didn't sign me then.
Cool.
And then it got to the last day, and Bill Kenwright wouldn't send the forms over. And Bill, obviously, God rest him, is very emotional, and obviously I'm a local lad from Liverpool playing for Everton. It was massive, and he actually got on the phone, put his mum on the phone to me when I was at Old Trafford. Then he got on the phone, he was crying down the phone, and we're literally like, Bill, please just send us. There's one document he had to send over, and eventually he did, just in time.
Okay, we've digressed a bit. I need to know more about this signing for Manchester United.
Well, I was still at Everton. I was sat at home one night, and I'm watching Coronation Street. So my house phone rings.
Yes. Wayne, are you a Coronation Street fan?
Yeah, I love Coronation.
Yes. Okay, we'll talk about that later. So am I.
So my house phone rings. So I answered it. It's Paul Scholes.
No way.
I was like,
Your house phone?
yeah. He's like, what's it, Scholesy? I'll tell you, mate. He's like, are you going to sign for us or what? I just sat there. I was like, what's going on here? But yeah.
So what did you say to him? Like, yeah.
So I don't know. I'll speak to the manager.
And that was it?
Yeah. Well, trying to have a conversation with Scholesy on the phone. It's difficult anyway.
What was that day like though? So did you were at Colleen's cousin's house and then you just got a call saying they want to sign you, like come in?
Yeah, so I went to the training ground first, and then Alex Ferguson drove me over to Old Trafford.
Oh, so Alex came himself?
Yeah, he drove me over to Old Trafford. So that was strange.
Just you and him in the car chatting? Oh.
Just like in the car, so that was weird.
What do you talk about in that situation?
I don't know. To be honest, I was probably just a bit taken back, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's Alex Ferguson, and he was obviously the main reason I was signed for Manchester United was because of him, and then to be in the car on the way to the stadium was strange. And then, yeah, it was a long day. We just sat around all day. I didn't even do a medical. So I signed with a broken foot and actually didn't have time to do a full medical.
But surely is that not part of the move? How does that happen if you don't?
I think they just, because I was young, they just, I had no major injuries beforehand. They took a gamble, I think.
Was Newcastle the only team to bid for you at that point?
No, so what happened, when we were at the Euros, at Euro 2004, Everton had agreed a deal with Chelsea for me to sign for Chelsea, and I had no knowledge of that whatsoever. So yeah, and then my agent then went and spoke to Abramovich and their team, basically, and they said, yeah, they wanted to sign me, then send me out on loan to Middlesbrough. I was like, no chance. So me going to London at that time, it just didn't make sense at all. So the minute I knew Manchester United were interested in me, then that was the only place I was going to go. Really.
Why did they want to send you to Borough, bro?
I think because Steve McClaren was there, and I think Abramovich liked him as a manager, and he wanted me to go and work under Steve McClaren.
Oh my God! Do you imagine if that went through? Instead of scoring a hat trick in the Champions League on your debut, you'd have been smashing in goals in the Championship.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, it was honestly, it was all weird. It was like one minute I'm getting told Everton have agreed a deal with Chelsea. I'm like, well, I don't want to go to Chelsea.
How much in that situation, Wayne? It always fascinates me when we hear about transfers. When you hear it, clubs have agreed. How much control and say do you have as a player? Because that sounds like a stupid question to ask.
Well, you have all the say really, because if you don't
so
want to go,
you can literally say no, I'm not going.
Yeah, you're under contract, so you don't have to go. And so my first day as manager at DC United, I had to go in and have a meeting with an American player and tell me he was transferred to Vancouver from DC, and that's like a 6-hour flight, and his wife had just had a baby, they had a newborn, and that was my first job. I was like, sorry.
Is that because they trade players over
there?
Right?
Oh, it was horrible, honestly. He was just looking at me and it was like, I've just come into the job.
Oh my
So
God.
that's where, over there, you can get, the players got no say really, but obviously in England, then the players got all the say really.
Was there at any point during your time at United or maybe at Everton, were there any point any foreign clubs came in for you?
Yeah, there was talks with a few different clubs, Barcelona with Madrid, Bayern at one point, Dortmund I think inquired as well. So
How close did they come?
not close.
Would you have wanted to have gone though to any of those?
I won't, not gonna lie, that Barcelona team,
Wouldn't have been bad, would it?
they were after number 9 as well, and it's like that would have been nice for them.
Yeah, I mean, living in Barcelona is not too shabby as well, isn't it?
I know, but playing with Messi and Iniesta and Xavi and Busquets.
It's not a bad package, is it? You wouldn't have too much selling, would you? To
and
go
I actually think my game would have fitted right into that as well.
Yeah. It's all right though. It didn't go too badly at Manchester United, so
No.
at least it didn't flop from there. Let me take you back to 2013, Wayne, because you've spoken about the potential of going abroad, but I remember distinctly there were links with you going to Chelsea back then. Jose Mourinho made no secret, as in true Jose style, that he wanted to sign you. What was that like for you? What are your memories of that time?
Yeah, I was very close to going.
How close is very?
Well, I think Manchester United, I think they said to Chelsea that they wanted 44 million for me, and Chelsea didn't get to the 44 million. And then I think they were offering Torres and Ramirez as well as money to Man United, and they didn't take it. But
yeah, they could go. They could do one. Sorry.
Yeah, but that was that was quite close. I obviously spoke to Jose a few times.
Okay, you've talked there about being on the other side of it, being a manager. Have you ever had to ring, or have you done a Scalzi? Let's call it done a Scalzi. Rang anyone? Doesn't have to be on the house phone. Maybe it'd be on the mobile to kind of try and persuade them to sign.
Someone like Michael Carrick or anything like that.
No, I don't think I have. I've done so last year when we were doing the Euros. I was out in Germany, so I was trying to obviously sign players for Plymouth then, and so as soon as I finished the game, I'm back in the hotel room on my laptop and putting presentations together, and then doing calls with players to try and convince them to sign. So yeah, Sorry, you put presentations together for the players to join.
Yeah. What's in that presentation? Is it like a PowerPoint thing with like?
Yeah, you're just showing them, what formation the team's going to play, where he fits into that, and just makes them feel a bit better.
Oh, that's insane! I can't. I thought you'd have somebody to do that for you. That is insane. I didn't realize that you were going into a hotel room yourself on a computer. That's insane.
I think that's the way it's gone now. All the players, because they've got access to so much data and so much information. They've been brought up with it, so they want to know. They want to know more, really.
Who did you do your UEFA B and UEFA Cs with? Was Carlton Cole in one of them?
He was doing a A license, I think, when I was doing my pro, or he was doing a B while I was doing my A.
Oh, is it? Because I remember having a chat with him, and he was saying that it was like you and somebody else was really good on like the presentations, but when he was doing it, he was terrible. He didn't know how to use. He didn't know how to use computers because he'd never learned.
So in all my team meetings, I can put it all together and stuff. But then it's with computers now. So when I did my presentation for the Plymouth job, so I've put it all together with the coach I have. So put it together. So I'm going down and meeting him, and I'm like, so to go to the next screen, I just press arrow. But yeah, so it's not my strong point, computers.
What's it like doing your coaching badges? Did you start doing them while you were still playing, or were you?
Yeah. Well, I actually started them when I was like 19 or 20.
Oh wow!
And then I stopped. Didn't have the time, obviously, with playing and stuff, and then went back to them.
Is it quite a lot? Like, I know it sounds stupid, but is it quite a lot of commitment?
To get them all, it's about 8 years, something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's some. There was one we done for the pro license. We got the cast of Les Mis in. It was amazing.
What?
No, because they have to recruit the kids. But so obviously when the voice breaks and stuff, them kids are no longer of use. So they need to get more kids in. So they have a whole recruitment team for the kids and stuff. So they talk you through all that and the different managers for different parts of the show. And then at the end, you've got to do this, actually learn the song and dance and do it.
Hold on.
For your coaching badges.
So there's no footballers.
So it's to put you in an uncomfortable position.
How did you find that? Are you good at dancing? God, this is going to go really left field now.
No.
Who had the worst song and dance?
Jonathan Woodgate was next to me, mate. He was loving it.
You said you like musicals?
Yeah, I do, but not playing them. I like watching them.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit different. Hold on, do you have to get up individually and do it, or like you're working together to do like a performance?
You're working together, so it's the song in Les Mis at the end of the day, is it? And then we're all like creeping forward and stuff. Oh, it was terrible. Honestly. It was terrible.
Why is there no footage of this?
There'll be a fail of the videos of them.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's better than anything I ever thought was going to come out of us asking about those sessions. Jeez.
Yeah, no,
I can imagine them like changing a musical every year. Like this year we're doing Hamilton, so everyone has to.
Yeah, no. I think they've done Les Mis because the ones before us have all done it as well. So,
Wayne, do you think the process has changed as well a little bit for transfers? Like you talk about Sir Alex driving you to the stadium. Were you ever going up to a player's house and driving them to the training ground and showing them the facilities and stuff like that, or has it changed a little bit now?
I met a player at the Atlantis Water Park in Dubai.
On top of the log flume.
No lying. Met him, had a meeting with him to try and get him to sign for Derby, and I actually had.
Sorry, but how does that come about? How do you say I'll meet you at the?
Because he was in Dubai, so I said I'll meet you there. So we've met there, and I actually had a skin tight wet top on where I've been on the slides. Because if I don't have a top on, I'll just burn. So it's like one of them swim tops. With like a man on a surfboard or something on the front of it, and then it was sticking to me, and I was like, what am I doing?
I love the fact that you'd be at the top of the slide going, look, I've done a presentation and all. If we just go down this slide, I can show you.
My laptop's over there in my beach
down.
bag.
Having a really serious conversation. Yeah, so I'm thinking of playing 4-3-3.
No, it's sticking to my belly as well and trying to pull it out.
Did he sign?
No.
I can imagine him like in a group chat afterwards. Lads, I've just had a chat with Wayne Rooney and he's got skin tight.
Bad, yeah. I met a few players actually over in Dubai because a lot of the players go to Dubai, so it's actually easy to meet players out there.
But I'm sorry, but why the water park? Why not a restaurant? Why not? That's what's blowing my mind. Why a water park?
I don't know. Actually, it was just phoned him up and he was actually at the water park the day I was going, so I said, "Oh, I may as well just meet you there."
do you like water slides, mate? Yeah, I'll see you there. So let me take you back to when you first signed for Manchester United. You're the big signing. Everyone's talking about you. Can you remember that kind of first day going in? Like, it's like that first day at school, isn't it? But like,
yeah, it's intimidating.
Mad.
It is intimidating. I obviously knew a few players from England, the English lads in the dressing room. But then you're walking in, you've got Roy Keane growling at you, and Ryan Giggs, all these legends I've watched growing up as a kid. Now I was sat one down from Roy, and you're like, this is nuts, this is mad. But the hard part for me was because I was still injured. So you didn't really feel part of it because I couldn't train with them. So it was only when I started fully training with them that you feel part of it.
Did you try and impress them straight away, or what's it like? Or when you?
I remember the first day's training, it was nuts. The tackles flying in, and you have to be up for it and ready because no one's coming into you and easing you in. They're right into you, and I was the same, giving it back, and that's how the training was all the time.
Who was the worst in training to like give you a bit of stick if you were new? Because I've heard stories before of like when a new player came in, somebody else would be shouting how much, like if they if they like mishandled the ball or something like that.
Yeah, there's a few really. There's one where your first day, there's quite a few lads waiting by the showers for you to walk in the shower, so that could be quite intimidating as well. And then if you're having a bad touch or it's over the bar and you can see. So we had Patrice and Vidic, and I remember we played a game. It was like a reserve game or whatever, and me and Rio played in it, and I was in the showers with Rio, and I was like, mate, these are crap. Honestly, like
that first 6 months though, yeah,
I was like, just get them off the wage bill, send them back. They were that bad.
What was so bad? Do you think they were just nervous, like overawed?
No, I think with Vida, he struggled with the tempo and the speed to start, and he obviously adjusted to that. And Petit was just, remember Patrice's first game, Trevor Sinclair absolutely bullied them.
Yeah.
And then obviously they both turned out to be unbelievable players for Manchester United. But that first few months, mate, they were horrendous.
Did you tell them to their face though? Sorry.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Can you laugh about it now with them as well?
Yeah, no, you laugh, but to be fair, Patrice is like, I'm happy you told me that because it was an awakening for him. So yeah.
What did you just tell them randomly on a training field? Like, you're crap, get out of here.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? It's not good enough.
But that shows you the standards, though, right? Like that's the standards that were there at the time.
Yeah, the training sessions honestly were incredible. The quality in them, and remember Wilfred Zaha when he signed, he struggled a bit with adjusting to the tempo and whatever. So yeah, it's if you weren't up for it, then the players would be on you.
Did that come from the manager, do you think, because of the way Sir Alex Ferguson, did he want that intensity? Did he look at the players to set that?
No, I think when I signed, you had obviously Roy Keane, Giggsy, Gaznev, Scholesy, and they ran that really. Obviously, the manager's values and principles, the manager weren't there half the time on the training pitch. He was doing other work in the training ground, but yeah, they ran all that.
Do you respect players more when they do manage to turn it around? Like, Evra and Vidic, that must have been so tough for them. But for them to go on and have the careers they did at United, knowing that you lot were essentially laughing at them,
Yeah,
is pretty impressive.
and you know, you could see, especially Vida, you could see how much it was playing on his mind and how hard he was working to get up to speed with it, and obviously he did, and turned out to be a unbelievable player for us. So yeah, when it's not going well for you, to have the mindset and the character to be able to turn that around, I think is fantastic.
Did any other new players ever come in and try to impress people too much, and like they ended up nearly injuring somebody because the tackles were flying in or something?
Not that I can remember. But I always remember there was a left back from the reserves, Demi, and he trained with us. And before he went out to training, I pulled him and I said, right, whatever you do, you need to leave some impact on this training session. I said, whether that's a goal, a tackle, I said, if there's a tackle there to be won, you go and win it. Mate, he come out and absolutely smashed Nanny. I was like, oh my God.
You say Wayne told me to do
Yeah,
that.
Nanny was fuming. But then I said to him after, see, everyone's going in, they're talking about you. That's good.
Was there anybody else you weren't having? Somebody like Bebe, for example?
Well, Bebe used to stand the way Cristiano does before his free kicks as well, didn't he? So, yeah, no, there's players who found it difficult and struggled. I think you probably see them as much as I have. So
Sure,
yeah, it's a different club, to be fair.
Wayne, was there ever a player that you saw, say if you were on international duty or whatever, that you saw and then you came back to United and you were like, we need to sign him?
Carrick was one.
Was there any other players? Because I heard a rumour that you wanted Ozil to sign for United.
Yeah, that's obviously when it ended up in Alex Ferguson basically kicked me out of his office. Yeah, I was saying to have a look at Ozil, and to be fair, as he said to me, it's none of my business. And who would bite to question, Sir Alex Ferguson on transfers and stuff. So, but I just felt I had to ask the question. So yeah.
But no, we can't skirt over this, Wayne. Take us into Sir Alex Ferguson's office there. What happened? How do you approach going into his office, and what do you say?
Oh no, I was never shy about going into his office. Yeah, so I went in and said to him, do you mind if I asked you a question? And it was basically, so I asked who we'd be replacing Cristiano and Tevez with, who we'd lost over the last year or so. Because at that time we'd signed Chris Smalling and Phil Jones, and no disrespect to them two, that's not replacing Tevez and Ronaldo. So I wanted to, the club offered me a 5-year deal. So before I signed it, I wanted to, know that we were still going to be competing for the leagues. And anyway, within 5 seconds, I'd been kicked out of his office.
Can you tell us what he said? Maybe bleep it.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
That was he's not going to tell us anymore, is he?
Yeah, he's not going to tell us. No.
You've got a fascinating perspective, Wayne, because you've seen transfers. As a player and now as a manager as well, and it feels like so much has changed in terms of the process of making a signing now.
Yeah, like at Plymouth, for instance, for us to sign a player, he gets put into the data and it spits out all his attributes and then you get a short list of players who fit in what you're looking for, really, and which in some ways it's good, but in other ways it doesn't, tell you the player's character. It doesn't give you the feel for who the player is and what type of human being is he and stuff like that. So it can be good in one way, but also bad in another way. It's the same with all running stats and data and stuff like that. I think if you're not careful, they get overused. And then Mourinho was brilliant. When Mourinho come to Man United, all the GPS and that, he wouldn't let you wear it.
Really?
He just said, I can see with my eyes if you're training hard.
Okay, so we are approaching the end of the transfer window. What's this period like as a manager, Wayne? Because no manager's ever happy, are they, in the last few days of the window? Even if you think you've got all the players you want, you're still looking for more.
I think my last two jobs I haven't made the transfer window, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Tactical.
Yeah, no, but it's depends. Obviously, you're always, and especially if you haven't got the biggest budget as well, so you're always waiting towards the end to see what pops up, and players normally do pop up towards the end of the window. So it was just a frantic time. I remember at Derby, I was sleeping in my office on deadline, the last week of in case we get a player in, you'd have to rush in and do it quick.
Kay, do you enjoy the transfer window as a fan?
Do you know what? I think I enjoyed the transfer window. I enjoyed it a lot more back in the day when you didn't know every single movement that was happening.
It's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think nowadays there's so much like, people are tracking flights now that players are on and private jets and stuff, and they're on their way to Manchester or they're on their way to London or wherever it is. And I think it's taken the fun out of it. I used to love waking up to the news that transfers happened, and it was like where the hell did that come from? Like it was a bolt out of the blue. It was.
I used to laugh. You'd see Domino's getting delivered to Harry Redknapp.
Transfer deadline day is not the same without Harry Redknapp. Is it?
Of course, yeah. And I think nowadays transfer deadline day doesn't have the same sort of franticness that it used to have. I think like people on transfer deadline day would go right up to the wire, and you'd see like loads of deals happening. Whereas I think now, like you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a bit boring now, isn't it, in comparison? Well, I'm sure we're going to have an exciting last few days of the transfer window. We're going to be back on Monday with all of the reaction to the weekend's action. And while we've gone early with this show, thanks to Grimsby Town, a reminder that the show is usually out on a Friday alongside Monday too. And you can watch it on BBC Sports YouTube and iPlayer and listen on BBC Sounds.
There's so much going on as we get to the end of the transfer window this summer. So let's get stuck in. We're going to be talking about Ruben Amorim's press conference. We're going to be talking about players that are leaving the club, players that are trying to be recruited into the club, notably midfield players, realistic targets, by the way. Jed Spence, who's just got in the England squad. Shout out Jed Spence, friend of the channel. And also I'm going to be answering some of your questions from all you fans in the chat group that we've got on Instagram on the Rare Ferdinand Presents Instagram page. Listen, guys, stay tuned and let's go. There's no place to start other than Ruben Amorim's press conference. And he's come out there and I think he knew immediately he was going to get some awkward questions, not difficult. And I think that by the sounds of it, it was, listen, guys, I've been emotional. I don't like losing. And I may have said a few things that could be misconstrued, that could be taken out of context. But he did back it up with, every time we get beat like that, I am going to be the same. I am going to be emotional. And he was quite open. I think one of the quotes was, sometimes I hate my players. Sometimes I love my players, and this is the way I do things. But I think the most important thing, I think it is important to get the right tone in the press conferences, but the most important place to get the tone right is in the changing room. So I'm hoping that in the change room, he's had some choice words with those players. Someone's been strangled. Someone's been put in a headlock. Someone's been fined. I don't know. I'd like to think there's been some real solid, hard conversations had. Almost fights. I don't mind a fight. Have one. Because I think moments like that where it is on the edge, where emotions are running high, where people feel embarrassed, there's no doubt in my mind. He was in that. The pictures, the memes that are going around now of Ruben Amorim in the dugout, almost like cowering, looking like he was hiding. What it is maybe one, it might be superstition that he wants to do that and doesn't like watching, etc. I didn't like watching, to be honest. I never watched penalties. I used to put my head down and look the other way and hope. But at the same time, there's an embarrassment factor. There's a pride. There's an ego that Ruben Amorim has, but also the players should have. Yeah, it's been difficult last couple of days. I think drawing against Fulham felt like a loss. And then Grimsby, backed up by Grimsby with a team that was quite experienced. It weren't like we had loads of kids playing. It was quite an experienced team. And getting beat the way we did. Didn't even, when you go to a Grimsby or a lower league team in the cup competitions normally, they can outfight you sometimes. It give you a run for your money physically. Definitely for 60 minutes, they put it on you. Crowd behind them as well, away. Tough environment, tough conditions. We've all been there. And we've all been knocked out by a minnow or a lesser club, right? Now, normally, one of the main factors as to why you get beat on that day, you're out. Maybe you push your luck in the game and you're a bit off it, and they get the rub of the green sometimes. Bit of fortune. But 9 times out of 10, trust me, it's the way that the players have failed to approach the game the way they would have approached it with a top Premier League team. And if you're off it 1%, 2%, you get punished. And let's have it right. Grimsby didn't bully us, didn't beat us up. Didn't have 2 big forwards like Mick Harford, 2 big Duncan Fergusons up there. They played actually some good football, and they should have had 3 or 4 goals. So we were quite lucky on the night to get to penalties, and their manager said that, and he was trying to be respectful, to be honest, yeah. But what I will say is I think there's been a lot of people talking about, Ruben Amorim, give him the sack now. And I say it again, like, before a ball was kicked, we're 3 games in now. Before a ball was kicked, everyone was like, yeah, we got optimistic. I'm the same, optimistic. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're going to improve. But 3 games, you can't sack someone after 3 games. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make sense. You've allowed them to invest in 3 new strikers, and you're going to say after 3 games when they're not even fully fit themselves, them boys, and you're going to say, right, I'm going to sack you. Doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to me, and I don't see Ineos doing that. No way. I can't see it. I think they're more sensible than that. And there's emotional people out there, and there's people that pay their good hard-earned money that deserve to be entertained and deserve better performances and deserve better results. Yes, I get that. Yeah, we all feel like that. But let's not be stupid. Let's not jump on the bandwagon and start getting all emotional about it and thinking, right, I'm going to start a vendetta. Yeah, there's been bad results. But you know what? When you try and turn things around at football clubs, especially one the size of Man United, that's been in turmoil, that's been on a downward spiral for many years now, 10, 12 years, right? Do you think it's going to be like 6 months, a year to turn that round? No, it ain't. Because if we just keep changing managers every 6 months, every year, it's going to be the same thing for the next 20 years. Sometimes you've got to, and I don't forget this quote from the manager. His press conference, or one of the press conferences when he first came, he said there's going to be some tough times, there's going to be some bleeding, but we're going to have to go through that. There's no doubts we're going to have to go through that. And we're still in that moment. All these people are saying, I understand it. The formation's an issue for a lot of people. Should we be playing a different formation? Should there be some flexibility in that? Adapting to teams and moments in games to change it. But this manager will tell you that, yeah, we start on paper with 3 at the back, but there's moments in the game that we're playing 4 at the back and we're shifting around, etc. And it's changing in terms of shape. in and out of possession. But I think you've got to allow the club to go through a period of pain if we feel there's a chance to get through the other side and there's going to be some sunlight. And if you're allowing the managers to spend money the way we have in the window and allowing them to let people go, players that I'll come on to in a little while, then there has to be an element of patience through turmoil. And that's where we are right now. And that leads me on to players that are leaving. I think Garnacho, Chelsea have agreed a 40 million fee to sign Alejandro Garnacho. I would much rather him stay at the club. From a pure footballing point of view, I think he should have been made to stay at the club. But we don't know what's gone on behind the scenes. Has there been a ruffling of feathers? Has there been a clash of personalities between the player and the manager? If that's the case, that's what it looks like. That's what it smells like to me. So the manager's saying, pull in rank, you got to go. You're not for me. And to be honest, from what I've heard, Garnacho has stood his ground and said, Chelsea's the only club I want to go to, turned down multiple offers from other clubs and said he's going to go to Chelsea. So fair play to him. Good luck to him. I think it's one of the largest fees, but it is the largest fee for an academy player. Although I do still, it's an undervalued fee. If Madueke is going for £55 million, Garnacho should be going for that at least. I don't see, if Alanga's going for the number that he went for, Garnacho's got to go for at least that as well. Under 21 stats-wise, he's up there with the best of them. But I think the Chelsea fans have got a really exciting young player. He scored a great goal, I remember, at Stamford Bridge when he ran the length of the pitch with the ball. And that's one of the reasons I think Chelsea bought him. He's different to all the wingers they have. And everyone's going, they've got so many players, but he's different. And for squad depth and for a different factor within the team and a different threat, he brings that willingness to run behind. Give me the ball, I want to make a difference. I want to score goals and create havoc. That's what he does. I think Anthony's another player. I think he's going back to Betis, they're saying. I think it's a £3 million loan fee and then an obligation to buy. So good luck to Anthony. Hope he goes and does his thing over there. Kobe Mainu, a loan move. We're hearing reports Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, among others, are saying that Kobe Mainu has notified the club that he wants a loan move.
Looks to be at an end.
I hope not,
could be
man.
remembered largely by the way he's improving. Emi Martinez. Yusuf Chermiti is about to become a Rangers player.
Saying I want him to sit and fight.
£8 million.
And there's two ways of looking at this. We ain't playing that well.
What a way to start deadline day this has been. Clearly, if Liverpool don't get Mark Gay in, then Joe Gomez won't be allowed to leave. What do you reckon? Will Gay still be a Palace player come 7 p.m?
It's going to be a very exciting day. It always is at Crystal Palace.
Wissler's made it very clear he wants to leave Brentford. Will he get his...
So why not start him? And I think Kobe and his team and his group around him will be saying that. Well, listen, if we were playing really well and winning games, I'd understand being on the bench, but it's not like we're playing well consistently, and it's not like we're getting 3 points on the board week in, week out. We look nothing like we should do. So why am I sitting on the sidelines not playing any minutes other than against Grimsby? Now, there's be some people that say, well, you had the chance against Grimsby, you got to go and take it. Him, along with all the other players that played, didn't take that chance. So that'll be where the manager will be standing. Well, you've not shown me enough to make me want to go and play you now at the weekend. But I've got to be honest, if I was in Cobby's camp, I would be sitting there going, I need assurances if I go on loan, I'm going to start and I'm going to play because I don't want to get embarrassed again going out and I'm not playing. But on the other hand, I might be sitting there going to him, listen, Cobby, there's been better players than you in years gone by that have been out of the team and have had to fight their way back in the team. So let's sit here and show people what you're made of. Let's show people that you're made of the right stuff, that you're willing to sit out for a couple of games here and there, but when your chance comes in the Premier League, you're going to take it and you're going to graft in training, you're going to graft behind the scenes, put your collar up and go, right, I'm here now. It's my time. That's the kind of personality and character that I'd love to see. Now, it's easy to say that sitting here because I'm not doing it. But like I said, there's two ways of looking at this. You either get assurances from a loan team of his choice that he wants to go to, and they're saying it's Napoli. Seeing what happened with Scott McTominay, he'd probably think I can do that as well. So I get that in a way, but I would love him to say, you know what? And I'd love him to come out and just go, listen, guys, I ain't going nowhere. United's my club. and I'm going to fight. I'd love to see that. But we have to wait. We've got a few days left of the window now. We have to wait and see what happens. I think Sancho's another player. I think there are reports that he's waiting to see to the latter stages of the window, the last knock-ins, to see what club's there, what club he wants to go to. Malacia, they're saying that he's going to be going to Elche on loan. And Højlund, it seems there's an obligation to buy after a loan with him at Napoli. That would be a fantastic move for him, going to the Champions. But what it leads me to is I drew up a little list of the players that we've signed during Ten Hag's tenure, reign as manager. And look at the players: Anthony, Højlund, Casemiro, Mount, Lenioro, Martinez, Onana, Ugarte, De Ligt, Xerxes, Malacia, Mazraoui, Bainda. Out of that, I think it's 13 players. Only Casemiro, Lenioro, and now at the start of this season, De Ligt, here you go, are people that are starting this team. All the others are squad players. And you look at their recruitment in that era and you go, flipping hell. Now, there's some good players in there, but were they Man United players, all of them? Were there a lot of them that were signing that we were going, not sure about that one. I hope he does well, him. Is he a Man United player? And then even more so when the new manager comes in with his tactics. They've looked less like Man United players, a lot of them. So the recruitment's left us in a really, really bad place. And I think that's another big thing to think about when you're talking about getting rid of the manager and talking about Ineos, etc. There's a massive cleanup process that has to go on because of the bad recruitment that's gone on in the last 4 or 5 years at this football club. There's dead wood. There's players not good enough. There's players that have got zero confidence, no game time, on their knees, but won't leave. And the club are having to clean this up and sort this out. It's a lot to do. It's not like it's just a manager come in and just fix things. There's so many things to do. There's so many layers to this, which makes it more difficult. It makes me sit there when I think about it and when I've thought about it, without being emotional, and go, actually, you've got to give them a bit more time. You've got to give the manager and Ineos a bit of time, a bit more time. We can't have quick fixes. We don't need quick fixes. We want long-term overhaul. This isn't about a bandage. Goes back to Ranjak when he was saying, this is open heart surgery needed doing here. He's absolutely right. So that doesn't mean changing things here and there quickly. It means sticking with someone and going through it. And yes, results haven't been good enough. Yes, there hasn't been enough points on the board. Yes, we haven't seen consistency. Yes, we haven't seen an upturn in form. But you can't expect that immediately when there's been so much wrong at the football club. So, I don't know, man. I've seen some reports. I think Baleba in midfield, and we're going to talk about the midfield options now, actually. I think, but we've spoken about Baleba and Wharton. They're the two players that I'd go for, 100%. But they're not realistic targets. Eze has left Palace. Wharton's going nowhere. Brighton have stood firm and said Baleba's not going nowhere late in the window like this. So I don't see them two transfers happening. I'd love one of them to come off. I don't see it. I mentioned Atalanta's Edison ages ago, a long time ago. So did one of our guests on the show, on one of the Rio Presents shows. Owen Hargreaves, friend of the show, who's got a good eye for a player, by the way. He mentioned him. His words were, he'd be perfect for 3-4-3 as he's got crazy legs. And yep, he has. Can play attacking, can take the ball. Really good energy. But I think Atalanta are having a summer of big changes. With the manager Gasperini moving to Roma after 9 years at the club and totally running that club. So it could potentially be a good time to go and get one of their main players and swoop in for Edison. But let me know what you think, guys. And who would you bring in for Ruben Amorim's team? Get in the comments and let us know. And again, another shout out to one of the people we've had on the show. We had Jed Spence, who came in the shade, said, don't care what you say, I back myself 1v1 against any winger in the world. And he's proven so again this season that he is the guy when it comes to 1v1 defending, especially. He stacks up against anybody and backs himself with confidence when he wears shades inside. I want to see a pair of shades during the 90 minutes at some point, pull them out of the socks or something like that when a goal goes in or when you shut down another winger. But he's now in the England squad. Jed Spence, good luck, my man. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. So now, man, let's go to the fans' questions. We're here now. If you don't know already, listen, guys, I've started a group chat that you can all join. So make sure you go and join that. It's on the Rio Ferdinand Presents Instagram page. The group chat's there. It's popping off all the time. Voice notes, reactions to certain things. Be part of the group. To join, head to the profile of that account, the Rio Ferdinand Presents Instagram account, and you'll see the link. Just click on that. In there, I ask you the question. What questions did you want answers today? So here we go.
Senna, welcome to Manchester United. It's a pleasure to have you here on deadline day. How does it feel for you?
Yeah, it's a big day. The club, first of all, like this move is my dream move, and also today is the last day, so everything comes together like this. So it's a massive day for me, and I'm very happy that we could get it done today.
I've been seeing you doing your photo shoots in the new kit. It must feel very good, but your family around as well. It's a proud day for all of you.
Yeah, I'm very happy they can also be here today because it's, yeah, like I said, a massive day for me, but also for them because they saw me grow up, play football my entire life. So it's also nice to have them with me now today in yeah, the biggest moment in my life almost. So it's also nice that they're here.
Yeah. There's so much to do on a day like this, lots of things to do, but maybe later when you're having dinner, a chance to reflect on that journey you've been on with your family.
Yeah, that's true. Then probably with a glass of champagne, it's a little bit more easier to reflect on the past and the things I've had to go through to get here. Also the things, the low moments we've had together and the high moments, I think all came together to be here today. So yeah, let's hope it gets done quickly, and then tonight we can celebrate it.
Well, we're very pleased to have you. What attracted you to Manchester United? Why Manchester United?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. Like I just said, it's one of the biggest clubs in the world. Premier League is the biggest competition in the world, and also the history of the club. I think I remember being a kid of Manchester United winning Champions League, winning the league, and also wanting to help the team get to a level that you can compete for a title again and for to play Champions League again. That's also one of my biggest points, that I want to grow with the team and grow to the heights that used to be of Manchester United.
Did you speak to any teammates or former teammates about coming to this club, what the club was like?
Yeah, I've in my team in Antwerp, there were some players who were also in England, and yeah, when I talked to them about Manchester United, you could directly see their face change. The club alone, the aura of the club, it's massive, and I think being here today, also seeing it, it's it's a different level. It's crazy. So that also was a big part of why I chose Manchester United. Yeah.
Is that something that reaches even the kids of Belgium? The uniqueness, the magic.
Like I said, especially me growing up when I was like 5, was like at the height of for me football with Cristiano Ronaldo, with all the other players in their prime. So I think that stays in your memory. You keep remembering how big Manchester United is, and so when I heard they were interested, it was like a childhood dream.
Yeah. Absolutely. What else do you know about the club and maybe the supporters?
Like I said, like there's so much history with the club. I think a big part also is the stadium. I haven't been there. I hope we will go there soon. But you can just feel it and see it. The history. It's when the stadium is like this, and there's been so much happening there over the past years and over the past decades. You can almost feel it when you walk into it, I think. So that's also a big thing I'm looking forward to, walking on the pitch the first time, thinking about all the greats that play there, especially goalkeepers also. The fans are also crazy with the small sample size I had with the club. It's already like you've come in contact with so many, a lot of messages online. But also like people in Belgium already speaking about it to me. You can just feel it in everything, I think.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to go to the stadium. It's a special place.
Yeah.
This is also a special place, very comfortable place now, the new building at Carrington. just opened recently. What have you made of the training ground?
Yeah, I saw something. I saw a lot of it online already, but when you come here and see it in real life, it's something else. I think it's the best of the best, the newest things everywhere. So I don't have an excuse on training. You have everything here at your disposal. So I think that's also, if you want to be at the Manchester United level, and you see this also, you have to step up also your level. So yeah, it's very exciting to get started also on training next week with the team, and yeah, I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, training soon. Have you had a chance to speak to Ruben Amorim yet?
No, not yet. I think yeah, the last couple of weeks was quite busy, I think, but I think that we'll also be there soon, and I'm looking forward to it as well, to hear what he has to say, what he demands from me, and also what I can bring to the team.
And excited to meet the squad as well.
Yeah, of course. You see the big names. I went to the dressing room earlier, and you see all the names. It's crazy also to think about playing in a team like this with all these big names. Also some Dutch guys, I think, will get easier to talk to. So I'm excited also for that, to starting to get to know my teammates.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about where you grew up.
I grew up quite on the countryside, small town. All the people a little bit down to earth, quiet. As a kid, I was quite outspoken. I was quite loud. But then when I started to get really into football, and when I got to the next level, I started to get a little bit more serious about it. And I think I changed a little bit also, get more, being more of an adult, because there's many people expecting a lot from you. So I think I learned a lot in my childhood also. My parents, they also keep me grounded. I think I got it from them. So yeah, let's just hope that I can get quickly adapted to here, and I can bring my piece to the team also.
Were you always a goalkeeper when you were a kid?
No, I started as a normal boy, just playing outfield. I was quite good at it, but in the back at home in the garden, me and my brother always played football, and I had to be in the goal.
Are you the younger brother?
No, yeah, I'm the younger brother, so I had to listen to him.
Same for me, yeah.
And yeah, you can feel directly that you also have talent for that. So I asked my dad if I could give it a try, and he said, yeah, let's do it. And directly you could see also that I had a feel for it. And then it went really quick, to be honest. I went then to a professional team directly at age 12. Went to boarding school, so yeah, you have to learn it quick, to grow up quickly. And then from then on, it's just steadily improved, growing. And I think, yeah, if you see my trajectory from now on, yeah, it's been quite nice. So I hope I can keep on going and going to the next level together with the team.
Definitely. Who were your inspirations at a young age?
My inspirations, yeah, I watched, like I just said, I watched a lot of football growing up. I followed my brother a little bit with everything. He was a big Man United fan also, a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan. So at a young age it was more Cristiano Ronaldo and those type of players. As I got older and I became a goalkeeper, was more like Manuel Neuer or Thibaut Courtois also from my, we have the same nationality. So you also look at them, look up to them a lot, and I think, yeah, also meeting some of your heroes and examples from a young age, and you meet them now, you can also see how it is, and yeah, that's also something very nice.
Your brother was a United fan. He must be.
Yeah, he's here also. He said to me, if you go to United, I have to be there. So I tried to arrange it that he could also come. And yeah, so it's also nice for him and for the family, like I said earlier. It's also a part of them who join also, so it's very nice, yeah.
A group achievement.
Yeah.
You said Neuer and Courtois.
Yeah.
For you, as a goalkeeper, how would you describe your style?
I think I'm quite all round. I take pride in that at everything I'm quite good. Of course, you have working points that you can improve at everything. I like to play from the back also with the team with my feet. I like to help the team with controlling the space behind the defense, helping my defenders. And of course, yeah, if you want to be a top goalkeeper at this level, you have to be a good shot stopper. So I think, yeah, like I just said, I think all round quite good. I can improve also, and I'm already eager to start training and improving, so that I can take the next step. Yeah.
173 saves last season.
Yeah.
More than any other goalkeeper
in
Europe's top 10 leagues. Is that a stat you were aware of?
Yeah, of course you see it on social media as well. I think it's a little bit combination. You have to have a team where you can show yourself. I think that was a perfect step for me to go to Antwerp and to start playing there. It's a high level, but also you get to show yourself. You have a lot of work in the goal. So I think last season was everything a little bit coming together, every single piece falling together. So yeah, if you see the stats also, it's also what I've worked for my entire life. So it's really nice that last season I could show myself to the outside world.
There's one attribute you haven't mentioned, your scoring with your head.
Yeah, also. I didn't know if you guys knew.
No,
it's already been quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was at my last club, or before Antwerp with Bruges, I scored a header in the UEFA Youth League.
It's a good header as well.
Yeah,
It's not a scrappy goalkeeper's goal.
No. It was like, yeah, also like kind of a dream come true if you can help your team in the last minutes. So yeah, that's also something to look back on. Very nice, yeah.
Maybe one day at Old Trafford.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Apps like Google Docs and Meet let your team make updates and connect in real time. That's collaboration with Google Workspace.
Oh, what a finish!
Coca-Cola.
He gave me that belief, the confidence, and he showed me the plan he had of achieving this year, and it really inspired me. So yeah, he definitely persuaded me, and I can't wait to work under him.
And you've had spells at Borussia Dortmund, Manchester United and Chelsea. At the age of 25, do you feel like you're ready to move into the peak years of your career?
Yeah, I believe so. Having the experience playing for such huge clubs, and hopefully I can bring some of the experience here at Villa, and yeah, I'm just can't wait to start.
I think it's a big step, you know. The situation of the club, I think, is a good step for me, for my career. So hopefully, I'm gonna go well. Yeah.
So we've seen these pictures of you in a Chelsea training top. Talk us through your relationship with Chelsea as a youngster.
I used to watch the Premier League when I was young. Obviously Chelsea because I like Eden Hazard. that's why I support Chelsea a bit. But yeah, just both the kid because I like football.
Is there a bit of Eden in your game then, sort of growing up and watching him?
Yeah, of course, it was a reference, you know, how he plays and the same position and everything. So yeah, it's a big reference.
Manchester United have a problem, and it is one so obvious.
Could be interesting, and Nana's in big trouble, and it's going to be forced in.
Start. I mean, it's just over a year since he signed for.
Bye.